but obviously you guys enjoyed it. A lot of people playing it because of Game Pass, but there's obviously an interesting controversy, I will put it, rather than a big one, around Flintlock and their handling of achievements. Now, before we get into it, I mean, we've had a bit of a discussion in our private sort of Xbox Tavern WhatsApp group that we've got where we chat amongst ourselves about news and stuff. And I thought it'd be interesting to see whether anyone actually got into the discussion. And turns out there's a camp over here and there's a camp over here, and I'm sort of somewhere more towards this side, but not necessarily.
There's a Venn diagram of camps, Jay. You've got those that care about achievements, those that don't care about achievements, and those that care enough but don't want it too difficult.
I don't care about achievements. I care about the integrity of the game, as in what it is and what it should be then represented in regards to playing it.
All right, so let's explain what's going on, and then we can get into it a little bit. Because, like I said, I'm definitely of the Venn diagram where I don't care enough to really get upset, but I just thought it was an interesting way of doing it. So, as Graham said, he knocked the game down to, is it called story mode or is it easy?
Easy, but it kind of tells you as in it's a story.
It's for just playing the story.
Okay, so if you knock it down to that at any point throughout the game, whether you start or whether, like Graham did, you knock it down because you're struggling a bit with one or two of the bosses, whatever you get a message come up saying you will no longer be able to earn any achievements in the game. And even if you knock the difficulty back up after the fact, you still don't get to earn any achievements at all. I first saw this on a Twitter post. I forget the name. I probably should have looked it up, but I mean, it's been, I've seen so many people comment on it. So some people are saying, I'll just give the broad scope devil's advocate argument, and then we can get into
Shitebag naughty commit to anything argument.
So no, I'll commit to something. I just want to give the grand overall view first, and then we'll get into it properly. So either it's good because it means achievements actually mean something. It's bad because people of all different skill levels might want to collect achievements, and there's a lot of achievements in there that aren't necessarily skill based. So it's not just beating the game or beating bosses. It's collecting 10 feathers or leveling up 2 guns or something that doesn't really equate to difficulty. And then, like Graham said, there's the ones in the middle, the other side that I don't care. Like delete all achievements as far as I'm concerned. It makes no difference to me. So I'm more on the side of it seems a bit of a shitty thing to do for people who like achievements. Like I said, I don't care one way or the other about achievos, but if you like them, I don't see why you should be restricted from getting all of them. I could understand that if, like Ian was saying in our chat, like if you have beat the game on hard or beat all the bosses on at least normal or something like that, because that's specific to that particular achievement, basically. Whereas, like I said, if you're collecting 10 feathers or if you're upgrading 2 guns or even just completing the levels, what difference does it make whether you do it on easy or hard or medium, what have you? And if you want to collect achievements, but you don't necessarily have the facilities, for example, if you've got some sort of disability or some sort of impairment, which means you can't play like, people who are able-bodied like we are, we don't have any issues in terms of playing games in a more traditional way. You know what I mean? We're not ones sitting there, struggling to use our hands or our feet or our eyes or anything like that. You know what I mean? And that's what I think some of the people in our group were getting at. It sort of excludes them almost because they physically can't do it, but they might still like to collect achievements. I feel like it's a very small overlap, but I can see what the point. Ross, Graham, stop me from waffling. Tell me your thoughts on this. What do you think about Flintlock locking out achievements on easy mode?
No, it's not. They're not the first ones to do it. It's happened on other games as well. Usually, even the Bethesda games, if you put like a cheat or a hack mode on, that disables achievements. If you in some other games, if you change the difficulty mid playthrough, that suspends all achievements. So they're no by means the first ones to do it. I feel
like cheats is different though, because you are actively trying to break the game there, whereas just knocking the difficulty down is something that everybody does, or everybody can do anyway.
But my argument is obviously achievements don't mean anything to anyone unless you're serving them for a purpose. Like Ian does it for competitions where there's rewards at the end of it by getting them more. There it serves a purpose. Outside of that, very, very little purpose other than a kind of a dick swinging score saying my score's bigger than yours. But that we didn't even do that when it first started. No one really cared. So I think they've kind of lost their way. You can't just sort of pick on this game for saying you can't earn achievements on easy mode when you've got games like King Kong or just crap where you just get achievements just by playing the levels. You can't have that both ways. It's sort of they're never going to be consistent. I just think the achievements are kind of lost their way. I thought if they use them savvily, achievements can be used by the game designers to make sure people explore the game. If you say, make sure you use every weapon once, use every bit of magic once, so that way you're exploring the whole game. It's like these guys spent ages designing the bloody thing. You want to make sure that that the player accesses every area. So go to all places that exist in the game. Use every weapon that exists in the game. Use all the magic that exists in the game. Something that forces you to explore the whole game. Fine. Collecting, shooting 300 pigeons can go fuck itself. No one's doing. No, that's not fun for anyone. But that's what I mean. But that's not exploring the game. That's just playing Where's Wally in a game of Grand Theft Auto.
Just busy work in it, just collectible busy work, which, like you said, doesn't really serve any purpose other than to say, I've done it now.
But that's what they use to extend the life of a game. Achievements are there sort of as life extending, whereas I feel that they should be there to sort of fully explore the game for everything that it's worth. So people put their hours and life into designing parts of the game that some people will just never see. The achievement could be an encouragement to see that bit that people missed out on.
Yeah.
So
and that I think is definitely, like you said, it was how they started. There was lots of games that encouraged people to use all the weapons, use all the cars, use all try the maps, try different powers, blah blah blah. Whereas now, like you said, it's just there's 1000G here. It's either going to be stupidly easy or stupidly hard. But we're not going to do it anyway because you love to collect achievements. I'm really struggling to try and be on the opposite side to Ian and that, because I don't care. I just don't care. But I can understand the argument for why it's a bit of a shitty thing to do if you're into that sort of thing.
To me, the only argument of that Ian made that has any kind of justification is the fact that they think that website gamer score, whatever it is, they qualify the difficulty of the achievement, where it could be get a kill streak in Halo or online. That's not the easiest thing to do. You have to have some level of skill to be able to achieve something like that. So getting that kind of achievement, there is a kind of a sense of purpose to do that, completing a game on kind of expert difficulty, hardcore kind of mode, just to prove a point that I that good at the game, I can do that. So I can get those kind of achievements as well. So maybe they should separate them into exploratory achievements and, actual achievements.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And again, that's what I was kind of getting at with it doesn't matter what difficulty you're playing. If you collect 10 bobbins, what difference does it make? Again, every time I say this, I'm like, but why would you do that anyway? But that's not the point. I'm trying to be on the other side of the argument for a balance sake. That's what I don't understand. I think that's what upsets people.
But that's the mean. It's like that childish argument saying you've beat this, the boss that's 8 hours in on this game, but you beat it while you had easy mode on. So maybe I did. You'll never know.
So what? Yeah.
So what? So we both beat that boss, but you beat it on a harder difficulty. Bully for you, but we both did it. We just did it on different difficulties.
But again, that being on different difficulties, again, I'm not claiming I'm a massively skilled gamer, but for example, someone let's just take Ross, for example. Say Ross beats it on hard. He's a legendary gamer. He's got super fast reaction times. Whereas I come along, I'm a bit slower. I haven't quite got the dexterity anymore. So playing it on easy is still almost like playing it on hard for him, if that makes sense. So why, again, it doesn't really equate to why it would be just because, like you said, you beat it. It doesn't matter how you beat it. There are people out there who will just obviously turn it to easy and beat it because they can't be bothered to play it properly, which again was what Ian was getting at. And I can understand his point, but I feel like it's sort of, they don't matter as much as the people who want to play it but now can't. You know what I mean? Ross, we've left you out of it because I feel like you're on the opposite end of both of us here. But fill your boots, go for it.
I have no objections with an easy mode.
That's not what the argument is.
Yeah, I was going to say you got
the way I look at it, right? Gray, you're the perfect example, right? If I'm playing Ultimate Team and I'm playing squad battles, why should somebody who's playing it on beginner get the same rewards as somebody that plays it on legendary? You shouldn't. It should be a reward of your skill level. So if you are able to get the precursor to get that achievement on the setting that the game is designed to be played on, get a reward. If you still want to play the game and enjoy it and experience it and see what it's all around, that's fantastic. You've got that option by playing it on easy mode. But that doesn't mean you should get the same rewards as the people who are playing the game the way that it was designed to be played. Gray has already said in his experience, he has basically become a sponge. He can take hits left, right, and centre. So if one of them is to complete this boss that they've spent 3.5 years developing, that's got complex mechanics that's hard to defeat, why should you get the achievement for it compared to somebody who's maybe took 15, 16, 17 attempts to beat this boss, where you've taken 2 attempts because one, you had to see the patterns, knew you know it. Doesn't matter if you hit 6 times, you can still cheese the boss. It's a Souls-like. That's the point. If it had been a different genre of game, I could understand it. But it's a Souls-like. You're rewarded for suffering through the punishment. Not you're rewarded for flicking it to easy mode and still doing the game.
Yeah. I think you're just isolating that kind of type of game.
But this is the type of game it is, though.
Oh, no, I know, I get that. But
so in this game, I think they're spot on with being allowed it.
But I think the argument people are trying to make of it being against those that are terrible at those kind of games, they want to play the game for it, and they kind of use achievements as a way of recording their progression as such, because there's no other thing you can use. Nothing tells you that you've completed that game.
I was shambolic at Souls-like. Tried Dark Souls, useless at it. Tried Bloodborne, useless at it. I tried Elden Ring, useless at it. But I stuck at it, and I got better, and I learned mechanics, and I learned attack patterns. There was no change in difficulty. I just had to adapt if I wanted to play the game that everybody was so hyped to play.
But what if you enjoy those games, but you're just that bad at it that you're never going to progress, or you can only progress on a lower difficulty?
Practice.
But even if you practice, you don't get better out of it.
You do.
But again, it's not even just bad. Like I said, if someone physically can't do it properly, with 2 hands, or if they got to resort to using the adaptive control, stuff like that.
But then why are you bothered about achievements then? Why are you not just bothered about being able to enjoy a game?
They're using it as a record of progression.
And what if they like collecting achievements, but they're not physically able to play it on anything other than easy because for whatever reason it's just not happening. And again, like Grace said, they're using it as a way to record what they're getting, and it doesn't diminish your achievement because at the end of the day they're getting an achievement. They're going, "Oh, cool, I've done it."
Yeah,
but it doesn't affect you, and you beating it on hard doesn't affect them. Apart from now, it does because now they can't unlock it. You know what I'm saying?
It's so weird that you feel like it diminishes your achievement if someone playing it on a lesser difficulty gets the same achievement as you.
I just feel like if I'm taking time, and I know we're talking about like extenuating circumstances of people physically not able to do it, and not just a skill issue, but if we're talking the vast majority of people, instead of picking out sort of unique circumstances, why should somebody else get the same sense of achievement or mark of achievement by completing something where they've just been a bullet sponge or a tanky thing, just not learning anything and just going headfirst in to bulldoze their way through it? Whereas I've maybe spent 3 or 4 hours in one sitting learning this boss's mechanic. Why? What is that? What is the achievement that they're getting? They're not. They're cheesing the game.
Or let's say, for example, even if someone is literally playing it on easy because they've got the skills, they just don't want to play it on hard. What difference does it make? Yeah, but what difference does it make to you that they've unlocked the achievement?
Because then
it literally doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's a principle thing. It diminishes the fact that you've taken the time to learn it.
Only to you though.
Well, but put it like this, right? So you talk about a game like this on the PC or something like that, or even Fallout, for example, right? If you play with mods, even if they're just mods to increase your enjoyment of the game, as in quality of life runs better, achievements disabled, trophies disabled, boom, straight off the bat, because mods make the game easier. So you don't get rewarded by making the game easier. It's not the first game that's done it. It's not the last game that'll do it. There's another example. if you make the game easier in any shape or form different to the standard parameters of the game, why should you be rewarded for it?
I'm really struggling to argue against you because I just don't care. I'm just trying to be like devil's advocate the other side, but yeah, just every time you argue, I'm like, it's a good point because I want to cover anyway. I just don't care. It just literally makes no difference. But
what you don't know is actually Pete's sitting there like his house and so it's usually some of the kids that's put something through the TV. He's just picked the sofa up. The sofa's through the fucking TV.
I just think the long and the short of it is I don't want to spend too much longer on this.
The thing is, it's inconsequential. It is inconsequential in the grand scheme of things. But for the principal point of view, people who are cheesing the game on easy difficulty should not be given the same sense of achievement and the same mark of achievement as people who are playing the game as the way the game was designed.
Just in terms of Souls-likes.
Just in terms of Souls-likes. Or any survival-based game.
Yeah. So, but what about if they were to include, like Ian said, you get say 10 of the achievements are beating the bosses. I don't know how many bosses there are, but it clarifies it has to be at least normal or at least hard or whatever. But you can still unlock the rest of them.
But that's done. Mass Effect does that. Complete the game
that's
on.
What I'm saying. Why couldn't it work for this game? Why couldn't something like that work for this game?
It possibly could, as long as it was marked out that you completed the boss, but you'd done it on an easier difficulty.
Yeah, because
highlight the fact
they could have done that. They could have literally done the exact same achievements, and if you complete it on the normal difficulty, you get the easier ones as well as the normal achievements at the same time because you've done it on both difficulties. But just allow the people that complete it on easy to get an achievement for finishing the game. They played the game just because they didn't play it the same way as you did. They deserve an achievement for completing the game. There
has to be some way, shape, or form that distinguishes the players that played it on normal. If they've went down the path of there's one set of achievements, then easy don't get it. If they wanted to put not two sets of achievements, but a prerequisite of this gives you the easy achievements, but this gives you the normal and the easy achievements, that's fine. As long as people who do it on normal or hard get more acclaim.
Yeah, I would be absolutely fine with that. I don't see the issue with that bit.
So they can take a picture and send it to all their friends on Reddit. Yeah. Look, I did it on
hard. They can have it for the people that do care.
Yeah, that's right. Obviously, people do care. Like, obviously Ian and some of the other Tavern guys, and obviously a lot of people compete in these competitions and on true achievements and stuff. And yeah, I'm struggling to even argue against it. Just fuck off achievements. Get them in the bin. We don't need them anymore. Just enjoy the game, like you said. If you want to enjoy the game, enjoy the game.
Like I said, if they showed a sense of progression, then that's the only point I'd see of them. But they don't. Not anymore. Some do, but some just don't even show the tales of progression. Because they just want something to tell them that they've played the game and completed the game. But they don't have that. They rarely have that kind of anymore. And if you're playing it like this, they said people on easy don't get that anymore. Yeah. They said they don't get any achievement.
They don't get any at all. So even if you collect all the MacGuffins and shoot
all MacGuffins, all weapons, complete the game, you get nothing. That's the bit that I can see where that's a dick thing to do. You don't get anything.
Yeah, like I said, they could separate out like so many other games have done. I think even Halo does it. Like if you complete the campaign on Legendary, it unlocks all of the lower difficulties just because you've done it on hard. And that's fine.
That should work like that. I've no objections to that.
That should be how it's done, really across the board for people who really bothered about achievements like that.
Like you said, but the fact you can just turn on a game and just let it run for 10 seconds and get 100,000 G on a different shit fucking third-party game.
Well, I mean, that's the opposite end of it. The games that are literally built to give you achievements, they can get in the bin as well. I mean, I know, Chivo hunters love them, especially for their competitions and stuff. But yeah, they can get in the bin as well. It just no, I've run out of juice on the achievement front. I'm afraid. I've got. I'm sure you guys can talk about it with Ian next week when he's back.
Getting that landfill.
Getting the fucking getting the cluster of garbage and shoot into space. That's been off that anyway.